Hey everyone, Suey here. Welcome to the channel. I haven't filmed down here in my little library corner for a while now, so if you're new to the channel, please be sure to go check out the video where I introduced you to this crazy corner of mine. We have the original video where I just went through it real fast, and then I have several videos where we've gone through book by book, at least in this section. There's a whole other section over there that we haven't even got to, which I'm still debating whether I want to do that or not, or if people are even interested in those books or not. But these main books, we've gone through book by book. And also my favorite is the time we reorganized this whole section, and we had books everywhere, and we figured out where they could go, and we found a bunch of, duplicates, which are still sitting here that I need to figure out what to do with. Anyway. So yeah, please be sure to go check out those videos if you are new to the channel and you haven't met this crazy space of mine. But I'm down here today because I want to talk about alien books. Yes, if you have been paying attention to what's been going on in the news, there's a dude who's been whistleblowing on the government and saying that they have recovered crashes from aliens. They have alien bodies, they have messages from aliens, all kinds of crazy things that come right out of a novel. And I gotta say, I love alien stories, but it's also one of the things that freaks me out the most. And so when I hear these stories of, yes, aliens exist, then I'm like, oh, I hope we're all okay here. But I also feel like if it's true that aliens exist, then I'm going to think of it as more of a positive thing, and that it's cool, and that maybe they do have technology that can help our dying, crazy, suffering, struggling planet. So I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, I was thinking, what alien books have I read that I've totally enjoyed? So we're down here in this crazy space. I've made a list, but I don't know. We'll see how organized this space is now if I can find them. And I'm going to show you some of the books and talk about some of the alien books that I have read. I think most of them are down here. Some of them I might not have. So let's just hop right to it and see what I can do here. I'm looking stuff up. There's somebody that said that this might be the first alien book. 1837 or something it was published. Anyway, War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Can't remember if I've actually read this one. I think I have. But of course, I think most of us are familiar with the radio show that happened in, what was it, the 50s or 60s? They did a dramatization of this book, and people didn't hear at the beginning that it was a dramatization. And then they thought it was real, and everybody went crazy. I love that so much. It's so great. So anyway, The War of the Worlds. We can't have a list of alien books without having this one on it. Okay, here's a YA one that I really love. The Fifth Wave by Yancy. Yes, and it's a trilogy, so there's several of them. And this one's been made into a movie, I think, actually, too. I really love this one. It really makes you crazy about who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. Are the aliens the bad guys? Is he a bad guy? There's an awesome dude in here. He's an alien. Is he the bad guy? I love, love, love this one. The sequels, not so much as this first one, but yeah, I really, really loved it. Okay, one I recently read is The Three-Body Problem, which I don't have to show you. Let's put it here because I gave it back. It was a borrowed book, and I think my sister's gonna try and read it now. Yeah. That one is one of those books where you're not quite sure what it's about until you get going, so putting it on the alien list, I hope it's not too big of a spoiler. The people in that story are trying to contact the aliens in order to get help for the dying planet, which I find fascinating that this is now in the news as real life stuff. Aliens have sent a letter, according to this guy in the news, that says that they can help us. So that's what The Three-Body Problem is about, is people on Earth trying to contact aliens to see if we can get help. And I need to keep reading those because I hear that the sequels are mind-blowing. So yeah, that's to come. The Host by Stephanie Meyer. Okay, so yes, I admit it. I was a huge Twilight fan. I loved all the Twilight books. I loved the craziness that we all collectively went through during that time. So when Stephanie Meyer had her book called The Host come out, I was all over that one for sure. And it is quite different from anything that you would find in Twilight and all those other books. So if you aren't a Twilight fan and you didn't read this because of that, I still think you should check this one out. So this one is about an alien race that takes over the bodies of the humans, and the human body hosts the alien race. And I'm pretty sure that happens in a lot of other alien stories too, but this one's really great when it brings up the conflict that the people in this book have when they bond with their host. So good, so good. I can't find this one, so I can't remember if I have it or not, but it's called I Am Number 4, and then there's a whole series of it, and I think it's by Pitticus or something like that. And a really interesting pen name. I really enjoyed that first book. It's been such a long time that I can't remember for sure, you know, what the specifics are about that one. The aliens have numbers, so I Am Number 4. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I do remember that. I haven't really read the other ones though. A ton more in that series. So, and I'm afraid I'm going to have the same. Okay, These Broken Stars, one of my all-time favorite books. Do I have that one on the shelf, or do I only have that one on the Kindle? I found it. These Broken Stars by Aimee Kaufmann and Meagan. So, let me see that one. It's not really about an alien invasion because they actually crash land on another planet and then they discover what's going on that planet. And so then they learn more about the race that lives there. So yeah, it's a little bit different in that respect, that they are the ones that come to the aliens and then find out what's going on. So, but I just love this story so much. Oh my gosh. It is so good. So good. And this one also has several more in the series, and they follow different characters, and then the last book all the characters come together. So this is the kind of book I wish I could write. So good, people. So good. Okay, one that Tori added to my list that I hadn't thought of is one by Hank Green called An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. And this one is totally an alien invasion kind of a story, where all of a sudden this weird thing appears and they name it Carl. So now they call the alien race Carls. That's what I remember, something about that. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't love this one as much as I loved some of the others that I talked about. It was way, way, way weird. And I know that there's a sequel now, and I don't know if I'll read it or not, but it's intriguing, at least, and entertaining, yes. So if you're into that kind of thing, you might, and if you haven't checked it out yet, you might want to. But it's really bizarre. Yeah, it might kind of mess with your mind a lot. Also, let's see. Somebody put Cinder on a list of alien book. Cinder. I have Cinder. Where is it? Oh, Tori took Cinder. I don't have Cinder. I guess it's kind of alienish because it's about the people who live on the moon, so you could consider them aliens. So I guess, but they were kind of banned there from the Earth, I think, if I remember right. But the whole, it's very futuristic. So I guess it kind of has an alien feeling, whether you consider them aliens or not. So kind of on the borderline, I would say, on that one. And then we have The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I think I have, but I can't find it. Could have found. I knew I had it. Yes. Which is another very big time classic alien story, and also very bizarre. I guess alien stories tend to be a little bit on the crazy weird side. That's just the nature of their stories for the most part. I loved it. I haven't read the others of that series either, but it's a classic one, and if you haven't read it, you really should think about it. I'm sure there are others in my collection here that maybe could be considered aliens, or ones I've forgotten about, but those are 10. Did I do 10? Oh wait, I'm saving my favorite one for last, and then there will be 10 alien books that I've talked about here today. Favorite one, Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. This book blew my mind when I read it the first time as a kid, and I've read it several times since then, and it continues to it's just crazy good. I'm pretty sure most people have read it, so hopefully putting it on an alien list isn't too spoilery, because for the most part when you're reading it, you don't really realize that's what's going on. But that's what's going on. Yes. I would consider this one a classic now. And even though it's really not that old. 1977, this one was published. So anyway, yeah, we're getting there, I guess. But one of my all-time favorite books blew my mind at the end. And it's just so good. Orson Scott Card, I must say, is a very interesting author. A little bit on the weird side himself, but he writes some really good books, I must say. There's 10 books that I've read, that I've loved for the most part. And then when I was doing some research, trying to remember what were some alien books, I made a list of 5 books I want to read. So 5 books that I want to read in the alien category. Obsidian by Jen, I think this is a French last name, Armentrout is what I would say. I have this one on my Kindle. I've had it for years on my Kindle. And her books are everywhere in the alien lists. So I think it would be a great one to read. To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolinli. I didn't realize this was an alien book, but when I was looking up lists, I saw it on the list, and I absolutely have to read this one. Yes. I loved Aragon. And I have a feeling that this one I would just absolutely love too. Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. So I've read a lot of Brandon Sanderson books, but I'm really behind. And I've read several of his YA books, and I guess this isn't a YA one about aliens or an alien race or something. So I would love to check that one out. My friend said that The Innkeeper Chronicles by Ilona Andrews, that's the husband-wife team, Ilona Andrews. It sort of mixes alien and paranormal with vampires and werewolves. And I am really curious to check out those. She loves them. My friend loves them. And so, yeah. And I didn't really meet these guys, but we went to an event at the library where they called in on Zoom. And so I got to sort of meet them and hear them talk about their stuff. And they were really interesting people. And I would love to check out some of their books. So I think I might have to start with the Innkeeper series, and the first one's called Clean Sweep. So then Contact by Carl Sagan. I guess this is a fictional novel that he wrote, but he puts into it all of his knowledge that he's learned with his space study, and I think that would be fascinating. And I think that this one should also be on a classic alien sort of list too. So there's 5 that I want to read, 10 that I've read, I think. Like I said, I can't remember for sure on World of Worlds, but I'm pretty sure I did. That I've read, that I've loved and enjoyed in this day and age when aliens are real. I think that if you haven't checked out some of these books about aliens, it's time to see what you think. Let me know if there's some favorite alien books that I didn't mention that you love that I should add to my to-be-read alien books list. And I'm sure there's something I've totally forgotten about. And so yeah, let me know, and let me know how you feel about aliens being real or not. I think it's crazy. Till next time, happy reading. Bye.